Everything we've been talking about is wonderful. The customer satisfaction pyramid, building the exceptional service experience, and in the second DVD we'll elaborate on that some more. Talking about fixed right first time, and I got some more on that coming up in just a little bit. In trying to get to trust, and we've talked about building relationships, and we've talked about your hours of operation and employee schedules and technician efficiency and all this. But where does it all begin? And to me, it really all begins with hiring good employees. And since this DVD is titled Service Management Made Simple, as is the book, and there's plenty more in the book if you're interested, I want to discuss hiring. How do we hire good people? Where do they come from? Because good people, as you know, are a real challenge to find. Now, if you're starting out on your own and you're going to be a one-person shop, then more power to you. But at some point, you're going to need to hire somebody. Even if it's just somebody to run the front counter while you turn a wrench, you're going to have to hire somebody. So let's talk about appropriate hiring practices. Be careful in hiring, needless to say. Firstly, don't be afraid to conduct more than one interview. Collect resumes. Set up a timeline for yourself. Go ahead and advertise. You can spread word that you're hiring through some of the people I like to use are my parts suppliers, my tool guys that come around, the parts distributor salespeople that come around. I just let them know that I'm looking for people. You don't want to attain the reputation in your market as the shop that steals other employees from other shops. I don't want that reputation. I want to collaborate with the other shops because at some point they may need my help and at some point I may need their help. So I don't want the reputation as an employee stealer, if you will. But parts people and tool people talk to many technicians, many service writers, many shop owners all over the place. And there's big advantages to that. So I let them know and let them spread the word, just in casual conversation. Give yourself a fair amount of time to either advertise in the classifieds, advertise online, or let the word spread. And collect resumes during that period of time. Don't be in a big yank to have to fill a spot, fill a bay, get somebody behind the counter. The last thing you want to do is make a real fast decision and then have it come back and bite you in the rear end. So give yourself 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks to collect resumes. You can certainly vet people based on resumes, but please, please, please keep in mind, resumes are not the end-all, be-all. Just because it looks good on paper doesn't mean it's going to function well in your operation. Okay, great. So what are you looking for in your operation? Well, to me, and it doesn't matter whether it's your shop or my shop, my number one thing that I'm looking for is somebody willing to learn. I want a willingness to learn. I personally don't care about 40 years of experience. As long as they're willing to learn, then I know I've got somebody who's trainable. And in the automotive business, training is everything. You have got to continually learn. Technology changes, people changes, business change. And so you've got to always learn. I want somebody who can learn. I want somebody who plays nice with others. I want somebody who can function in a fast-paced environment when they're interacting with people. And really, it doesn't matter to me whether we're talking about technicians or service writers, and we'll break both out in just a minute, but I want somebody who can interact well with people. I want somebody with typing skills, with computer skills. I want somebody that fits my organization. Okay, great. So maybe you find that on a resume, maybe you don't. Maybe you can discover that in the first interview. But how are you at interviewing? I always took interviewing for granted. I don't know why. I thought it was easy. The older I get and the more experience I have, the more I've discovered interviewing is not an exact science and it's far from easy. Many people are not comfortable interviewing. Many people don't know what questions to ask while interviewing. And I would strongly encourage you, if you're in a position where you just, you don't have a good track record, you keep hiring the wrong people and you're not sure why, well, maybe you ought to look to yourself and maybe you're asking the wrong questions. I might go around to other businesses, maybe non-automotive businesses, and say, hey, can you help me with your interview process? What do you guys use? What kind of questions do you ask? What kind of people do you look for? And write it down. Write all your questions down. During that 2, 3, 4 week period of time where you're collecting resumes, also be writing down questions for the interviews. Go through one interview with everybody Take the 3, 4, or maybe it's only 1 or 2, even if it's 1. Have them come back for a second interview. The second interview is far more revealing because you've got new questions, they've got new questions, and they've already taken some of their guard down. So don't be afraid to interview more than once. Always write your questions down. And here's a big thing. Don't stick to just what the job description is. Certainly make sure that they understand during the interview exactly what responsibilities they are expected to have. And if there may be additional ones based on skill set, either now or in the future, let them know that. But don't get too hung up on exactly what the job entails or what's in that resume. Ask open-ended questions. I usually want to know, what do you like and what don't you like about this business? How did you get into this business? The last organization that you worked for, what did they do really, really well? I try to stay away from the negatives because anybody looking for a job's usually got a negative from the last employer. If they're looking to leave a job, then they're likely to badmouth that employer, up and down. I want them to tell me what have they observed that organization did really, really well. And ask them those questions. What do you think organizations can do to improve? How do you feel about attending training? How do you feel about professional development? Ask those types of questions so that you get a handle on, are they willing to grow? Or are they looking for just a job where they just go to work every day, 9 to 5, and they go through the routine? Because in the automotive service business, you don't want that person. You want somebody who's motivated. You want somebody who can be the face of your business. You want somebody who can help you grow your business. You want somebody motivated, somebody productive, somebody willing to learn, and somebody who sees positives in the environment and is always looking for improvement. Write your questions down, do more than one interview, think outside the automotive box. More on that to come.